Welcome to the Committee on Senate Revenue. We're going to call this meeting to order. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Yes. Senator Buck? Here. Senator Doñate? Here. Senator Severs-Gansert? Here. Senator Spearman? Here. Chair Neal?
Here. So today we have work session on Assembly Bill 53, 98, 122, and then AB 455. I will go ahead and turn over the mic to Mr. Tower, who will discuss AB 53.
Thank you, Chair. Christian Tower, Fiscal Analysis Division, for the record. Committee members will find the work session documents uploaded on Alice. They're also available to the general public. Assembly Bill 53 revises provisions relating to sales of tobacco products. The bill is sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Revenue on behalf of the Attorney General and was heard in this committee on May 9th, 2023. Assembly Bill 53, in its first reprint, revises existing penalties for sales of tobacco products to persons under the age of 21. The bill specifies that for violations which occur within a 24-month period at the same premises, a licensee is liable for a civil penalty of $2,500 for a first violation, $5,000 for a second violation, $7,500 for a third violation, and $10,000 for a fourth and any subsequent violation. There are no amendments that were proposed to this bill. Thank you.
Members, any questions on the work session document? So I will accept a motion for a due pass. I have a first from Senator Doñate, second from Senator Spearman. Is there any discussion on the motion? Senator Gansert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to vote yes, but reserve my right. I think the penalties, I don't know that they quite make sense. And also, it talks about like the employer and then you've got an employee or an agent, and I think some of that language was a little bit confusing. And I think sometimes it's hard to make sure the penalties are pretty steep if you can't control everything your employee does, and sometimes you can't do that. So I'm concerned about the level of penalties and that they're not specific in some instances to the also to the employee, even if it was a low amount, to disincentivize them potentially selling products to friends, and then again penalizing the owner of the store. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Senator Buck.
Thank you, Chair Neal. I'll be voting yes today and reserve my right. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I concur with both of what you guys said, but I will vote it out, but I will reserve. So all in favor of moving AB 53 as a due pass?
Aye.
All right. So motion passes with 3 reservations. So I will give the floor assignment to Spearman. Okay, next we will move to AB 98.
Thank you, Chair. Christian Tower, Fiscal Analysis Division, for the record. Assembly Bill 98 revises provisions governing economic development. The bill is sponsored by Assemblyman Wynne and was heard in this committee on May 9th, 2023. Assembly Bill 98 makes various changes to the Governor's Workforce Investment Board, including changing the name of the board to the Governor's Workforce Development Board, expanding the representation of the board to include members of local workforce development boards and other business representatives from industry sectors, and requiring the board to collaborate with local workforce development boards and regional development authorities on various economic and workforce development activities. The bill additionally requires each regional industry or sector partnership working with a local workforce development board to submit certain reports to the Governor's Workforce Development Board. There are no amendments proposed to this legislation.
Thank you for that. Members, any questions on the work session document of AB 98? So I'll accept a motion to do pass. Senator Buck, do I have a second? Senator Doñate, any discussion on the motion? So seeing no discussion on the motion, I will, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing no opposition, AB 98 passes unanimously, and I will give the floor assignment to Buck.
Thank you, Chair. Christian Tauer, Fiscal Analyst Division for the record. Assembly Bill 122 revises provisions relating to tobacco. It's sponsored by Assemblyman Yeager and was heard in this committee on May 11th. Assembly Bill 122, in its first reprint, provides an exception to current law relating to age verification for tobacco sales for persons selling, distributing, or offering to sell cigarettes, cigarette paper, or other tobacco products in face-to-face transactions that occur in an area within a casino where loitering by persons who are under 21 years of age is already prohibited. There are no amendments to this bill.
Members, any discussions on the work session document? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion. I have a first from Senator Spearman. I have a second from Senator Buck. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor of due pass on AB 122? Aye. Any opposed? Seeing no opposition, this bill passes unanimously, and I will assign the floor statement to Dunyate. Okay, next.
Thank you, Chair. Christian Tauer, Fiscal Analyst Division for the record. Assembly Bill 455 authorizes the imposition of a civil penalty by the Department of Taxation for certain violations relating to contraband tobacco products. The bill is sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Revenue on behalf of the Office of Finance and the Office of the Governor and was heard on May 11th in this committee. Assembly Bill 455, in its first reprint, authorizes the Department of Taxation to impose a civil penalty for certain violations relating to contraband tobacco products. The penalty that the department may impose for these violations is $10,000, or the total costs incurred by the department for the transportation, storage, and disposal of the contraband tobacco products, whichever is greater. There are no amendments to this bill.
Okay, are there any comments on the work session document? Seeing no comments, I will accept a motion. So I have a first from Senator Spearman, second from Senator Dunyate. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing no discussion on the motion, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So no opposition, AB 455 passes unanimously, and I will assign this floor statement to Gansert. Okay, so that concludes our work session for today, and I will go ahead and open up for public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment in Carson City? Is there anyone here? There's no one down south. It's BPS. Is there anyone on the line?
Thank you, Chair. The public line is open and working. However, there are no callers wishing to provide public comment at this time.
Okay, well, that concludes our business, and Senate revenue is adjourned.